Hey, it's Kyle here, and today I'll be reviewing Star Wars Sanctuary, a Bad Batch novel by Lamar Giles. This is the first novel kind of continuing the Bad Batch storyline. There has been some comics since the series. I'll be honest, I haven't read them. I'm just not a huge comic book person. So this is my first chance to really get to enjoy the Bad Batch storyline and characters again after the series recently wrapped up. And I was really excited when they announced this novel. I absolutely loved the Bad Batch. It was such an amazing series. I liked how they ended it. I liked how they wrapped it up kind of like how they wanted to, but I still miss the series a lot. I was definitely wanting more storylines with our Bad Batch. So I'm very excited that we got this novel, and hopefully this novel does well so we get some more Bad Batch stories in the future. Overall, I thought this book was really good. Was it the best Star Wars book I've read this year? No. Did I enjoy the book a lot and read it really quick? Yes. I basically finished it in a couple of days. Very much felt like a Bad Batch story, like as an episode arc that came to life in novel form. It felt completely within the world of the Bad Batch that got just known in the series. It didn't feel like different characters or different situations. It felt like a Bad Batch of it, and I really enjoyed it for that. I'll be upfront. The first third of the book, it took me a little bit to get into it. I don't think it was anything about the book that was bad. It's more, I've only experienced these characters in the animated series, so it took me a little bit to get used to actually reading the characters and from their point of view and actually getting their internal monologues and stuff like that, which is something you weren't getting in the series. So it just took me a little bit used to getting, enjoying these characters in the written word instead of an animated series. But once I kind of got used to that, I really enjoyed the book. I'll say specifically within the Bad Batch characters, I really enjoyed Tech and Fee. We got a lot more of kind of their relationships being developed. That's one of the things I would have loved to see in the animated series a little bit more. If we got maybe one or two more episodes where we had a little bit more Tech and Fee to really better understand the relationship and how it was developing, instead we just got little hints about it. This book does an amazing job of actually developing and showing how each other care about each other and how each other view the relationship and I guess what their hopes are for it. I'll also say some of the strongest points of this book are a lot of the new characters they introduced. A couple of new villains, Crane, a very interesting ISB agent, very smart, very cunning. I always find the Imperial characters so much more interesting to either enjoy in a book or in a series or a movie when they're actually kind of smart and competent at their job. That to me, they're a lot more entertaining to be a part of the storyline versus the incompetent Imperial that's just a buffoon and is not good at his job. Crane is very much a worthy adversary to the Batch. You also have Celia, which is kind of a rich industrialist whose family's been, wealthy for generations. She's such a high level in the galactic elite that she actually calls the Emperor by his first name, Shiv, which I think is the first time I've ever seen anybody do that in a Star Wars book. I still love that part, just kind of showing what their mentality was and how they viewed the relationship, even though it probably wasn't how the Emperor viewed it, but she basically views it like, oh, we're close friends. I don't even think the Emperor is maybe even really aware that she still exists. But those are our two villains. A couple other characters, Ponder and Sohai, which I won't really get too much of the backstory because it'll give away a little bit too much of the plot of the book. But basically, these two, Sohai and Ponder, are basically two individuals that the Batch and Fee have been hired to transport across the galaxy, kind of on the down low. They need to kind of get away. And part of the reason they're doing this is this book is set in the immediate aftermath of the Bad Batch episode Pabu, when it's damaged by the natural disaster. So the Bad Batch and Fee are basically trying to take on missions to raise money to help the recovery on Pabu. And so they do a couple missions. One trying to basically steal money from an auction, and then the second mission is this transporting these two individuals, kind of smuggling them basically. And we kind of interesting to see how these two missions kind of intersect and how it kind of connects with our villains we've learned about more. I don't really want to get into the plot a whole lot more, so not to spoil it for anybody that hasn't read the book yet. But overall, I'd say, if you enjoyed the Bad Batch animated series, I think you'll really, really love this book a lot. It feels just like this was the episodes that were planned for the series, they didn't get around to doing, and it just was transferred into the book. I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's how much it feels like a Bad Batch episode. So if you enjoyed the series, I do not see why you would enjoy this book. I think you'll love it a lot, and there'll be elements of the book. They'll kind of answer some questions or more character development that I think a lot of people were maybe hoping to see in the animated series. If you've never seen The Bad Batch, I'm not sure how much you'll actually enjoy this, because when The Bad Batch is introduced, the author kind of assumes, roughly so, everybody's already familiar with these characters. This book is very much geared towards people who watch the series. So if you've never watched the series, you're kind of thrown into the members of the Bad Batch, and you don't really get a whole lot of background behind them. So I think you might be lost and not fully grasp these characters. Maybe by the end of the book, you're getting a little bit more of a handle on them, but I'm not really sure if you would enjoy it as much. So honestly, if you're interested in learning more about the Bad Batch, I'd recommend start watching season 1, seeing if you like it. I think you'll quickly become obsessed with it and love it like the way I did, because it's an amazing series. So I definitely would say, if you haven't watched The Bad Batch, I would probably watch The Bad Batch before I would read this book, because I'm not sure if you'll really enjoy it as a non-Bad Batch watcher. I'll say, if you're a Bad Batch fan, definitely read this for anything. It has an amazing ending. Wow, it was really cool. In fact, when I was reading the ending, I was like, God, I kind of wish this was an animated episode, because I would have loved seeing this episode played out on my TV. I would say one thing I didn't like about the book, I think I preferred if this book was set after the events of the series, because being set in the middle of it, you kind of knew for a certain number of characters, well, these people are going to make it, because I know these characters were there in episodes after this adventure. So it took away a little bit of the stakes, but for some of the new characters, obviously you didn't know what's going to happen with them. In the future, if they do more Bad Batch novels, I'm guessing they'll probably sprinkle more in throughout the first few seasons, but I'm hoping at some point I would love to get the Bad Batch storyline continued after what we saw in the animated series. So overall, I really enjoyed Bad Batch Sanctuary a lot. I think it's a great start for a Bad Batch novel, and hopefully we get a lot more of them. So let me know in the comment section, who is your favorite member of the Batch and why, and what would be your hope for future Bad Batch novels? Hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, hit the like button. If you have yet, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate support. Thanks for watching. I'll see you the next time. Happy reading, and may the Force be with you.